Testing, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Welcome everyone. I see the room is getting full already. Good. Welcome back to another episode of Golf Cart Garage. First of all, we were supposed to have a guest today. The guest is he's going to be rebooked. He ended up with a conflict in his schedule. We were supposed to be having a guest with Donnie Jaloop, who is the CEO of Navel, which I've talked about. That's going to be postponed probably until after the holidays. Probably wasn't a good idea to try to get somebody so close to the holidays. People's schedules are all over the place right now. So anyway, he is still on the books, but he will be rebooked. We will have him probably in January. So if anybody was expecting that today, that's what the deal is. So we're just going to have a regular show today, just like we normally do. And we will go from there. Let me check something out right here. Okay, that looks good. Trying something different there. All right. Let me see about that. All right, that's looking good. This is Tuesday, December the 9th. If you're watching us on Tuesday, December the 9th at 12 noon Central Time, you're watching us live. We are live right now on YouTube. Okay. As I usually show this ending thumbnail, but I need to make sure that everybody understands that the Gearheads on Demand service that we offer is now free. So you can schedule a call if you would like to talk with me one-on-one. I usually show this ending thumbnail right here, and not sure everybody's getting that because there are still time slots available. Now, at this time, they're only on Wednesdays. They're on Wednesdays, but that's it. That's the only day that I take scheduled calls at this time. Now, hopefully that's going to change and it's going to be more. But right now, if you'll check the schedule, you go to golfcartgarage.com and you'll figure out where you need to click in order to schedule a call if you would like to. If you feel like you need to talk with me one-on-one rather than try to type it in the chat. Not everybody's the greatest at typing, but if you want to, you can come here every Tuesday and try to get your question in the chat. If I don't know the answer, somebody in the room might. Okay. All right. I keep having to adjust that mic. Galactic Technologies. I'm working on some cool stuff for you, Tim. I'll be emailing you pics in a few minutes, so check them out after the show. I will. Thank you, Daniel. Mason Groby checking in from Lake City. 26 and snowing. Yeah, winter is coming. Easy come, easy go. Good afternoon, Tim. What's going on? That's Dave Gatton. I recognize the avatar. Remember, I told you last week that we figured out YouTube changed something, so I don't even recognize everybody anymore by the names that it shows up there. But I recognize that that's Dave from that golf cart because he sent me pictures. Rich Eastman, hello guys. Snow on the ground in 36 Machipongo, Virginia. Machipongo, sorry. Kurt, Tim, looks like winter's finally got here in Bradenton. 60 degrees, yeah. Greg Elliott from Bristol, Virginia. What's up? Bob Lewis. Pretty cold but sunny in Alabama. Gene Hansen, what's up, Gene? David Irwin. Hope you're all doing well. Mike, 3 thumbs up. Keith from Palmetto, Florida, checking in. Like 65 degrees. What's going on, Keith? Stephen Kuhn, greetings from Barth, Florida. Louis Borghese, 68 in Kissimmee, Florida. David Irwin, please give Tim a like. Yeah, give us this video a like and a thumbs up if you enjoy this content. We talk about golf cars. It's a very specific content, that we talk about here every week, but a lot of people do enjoy it. Joe Foster sounds good. 67 in Armando Beach, Florida. Beach, Florida. Ormond. That's cool. Cold in the Carolinas. 38 in Kings Mountain. Mike, stop adjusting me. Yeah, not you, Mike. The other Mike, the computer Mike. Uh, haven't seen that hat design before. Looks good, Sir Walter. Yeah, this is one of them. Uh, let me think. Um, we may be out of this one. Can't remember. No, I don't think we have any more of this one. Yeah, this might be one of a kind, just like that camo one. But the new owner has told me that I said something about inventory on the hats is getting low. He is going to replenish that, and not only that, he said that he's going to put some camo hats in there because the camo hat gets a lot of attention. Oh, check this out, my new camo ring. I'm not wearing it because I got the red one on today to match my suit. But check this one out. Can y'all see that? Camouflaged with tire tread. Now that's cool. I had to have that. It's snowing here all day and through tomorrow at Galactic. That's in Detroit. Jerry Kelly, hey Tim. It's warm in central Indiana. Hello Tim, sunny 62 in Tucson. Time to bundle up. Howie Peach, 25 in Ontario and snowing. Start thinking about new batteries. Keith, it's time for me to start thinking about new batteries or battery. I'd appreciate a discussion how to store lithium batteries during a 7-month summer storage. Do the chargers have auto shut off? Well, did you see the episode with the owner of Eco Batteries, Keith? I mean, we talked about all that. Back up to the episode where the guest was Noah Scholes. Or Sean, I'm sorry, Noah Sean. Can't wait till I get my weight lift restricted from hernia surgery lifted so I can get back to working on my projects. Hyro Modder. All right. Yeah, everything seems to be working. Oh, that's Aaron. Okay. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, see, it's that's screwing me up. I wish they wouldn't have done that. Just when I had everybody's names down, and who you were, then they go and change that on me. But I'll remember it now, Aaron. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with some regular questions here. Question number 1 is from Leon. Hi, Tim. I am considering rebuilding or having my engine rebuilt. I've got low compression, so I'm looking for tips on removing the engine. What is the procedure? Does the body need to come off the car? It's an 86 club car. Body does not need to come off, but it's up to you, especially since it's a club car. It's up to you if you would want to take the body off. That may make the engine removal is very easy. You can figure that out just by looking. I mean, it's designed to be very easy to take the engine out. Now, you might consider taking the rear body off since it's a club car because you don't have to drill anything out. Like on an E-Z-GO, you'd have to drill out a bunch of rivets in order to remove the body. But on a club car, it's all bolts. You can remove the whole rear body section, and that sure would make it real easy to reinstall your new engine, when you got it back ready to go back in the car. So you might want to consider that, taking off, but it is not necessary. No, it's not necessary. Benny Russell, I'm finally here. What's going on? Larry England, what's going on, Larry? I see you in the chat there. Number 2 is from Hank. I'm trying to take off my windshield temporarily for trailering it a few hundred miles. I'll be putting the car on my trailer facing rearward, so the overhang will be above the trailer tongue and then the cart will fit in my 5x8 utility. So I've removed the acorn nut cap and hex screws. However, the rubber C-channel holding the lower half of the windshield onto the cart is tighter than than a nun new to the convent. Any tips or tricks on making the removal easier? Maybe some Dawn detergent or soap to help it along. Don't want to use a flat blade screwdriver to pry it because I don't want to slip and scratch the windshield or the cart. I know exactly what you mean about the windshields. Now, the only thing I can say is the best way to do it is you have to start at one end. Like, don't try to take it off evenly. You're gonna have to like, how can I show that? You have to kind of remove one end and then roll it off of that bar, you know, from one side to the other side. You'll never be able to get it off all at once. You know, you've got to take off. You've got to spread it out on one end. Maybe come up with some kind of, maybe make a C-channel tool to press on one end only and get those started. Once you get it started, the rest will just peel right off. But it's just that initial getting it started that makes it very difficult. Gary England, what's going on, Gary England? All right. Number 3. My newly purchased G2 will backfire, dump black smoke, and lose power. I ordered an engine rebuild kit, planning on a do-it-yourself job with the exception of having the cylinder board. I have no manual, did order a clutch side puller. Is there anything I should know before I begin this adventure? Well, I tell you what, if it was me and I was going to tackle that, there is no doubt that I would get a G2 service manual because they are available on eBay. I have one for a G2. In fact, I think it's G2/G9 because I believe it's the same service manual for both of those and gas cars we're talking about. That would be very valuable to somebody that was planning on doing that as a do-it-yourself project. So that would be the first thing that I would recommend. I think the next question would be the next thing that I would recommend that you consider. Let me make sure that I'm right here, because a lot of these questions, sometimes when I get them, these regular questions, our server kind of puts them in a category, so they're a lot of the same category. I don't know if everybody's noticed that or not, or if anyone's noticed that, but the regular scheduled questions are generally, when I pick them, they're in the same general category. So in other words, I'm expecting a lot of gas questions about a G2 and G9 in this episode, the regular questions, because that's what the category it sorts them in. I don't know if Ria's doing that or if it does it automatically at Golf Cart Garage. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask her. Number 4 is where we were going next. This is from Robert M. My G9 just lost all power. I'm not an engine guru. It is burning oil, but not leaking oil. You can feel lots of blowout when removing the oil cap. I'm assuming it's a seal or a ring. I know they sell engine rebuild kits on various websites. Should I be looking to repair this engine or buy an aftermarket replacement? This is not work that I can complete myself. I will have to pay someone to complete the service. What should I be looking at to pay to get this cart up and running again? Does the configuration of the engine allow them to be rebuilt, repaired while still in the cart, or is the engine completely removed? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Okay, this is what I wanted to get into. This is a common question, and if you're uncomfortable with doing the whole job yourself, if you have any questions about rebuilding an engine out of a golf cart, a gas engine out of a golf cart, consider using one of the companies that you send your engine to. Consider there are companies in Georgia that you can send your engine to. They will turn around and send you a completely rebuilt engine for your cart, ready to go with their name stamped on it with a warranty. And then they'll give you a core credit for you sending in your rebuildable core. And by the time it's all done, you're in with shipping and you get your core credit, I think it's less than $1,000. Now, I think that's a deal there. And you didn't have to worry about nothing. You had to remove the engine, ship it, and install the new one. That's what you had to do. William Bosworth. Larry, I have a Coco golf cart with 6 12-volt batteries that I can change that to 1 lithium battery. You talking to Larry there, William, or me? Hello from a snowy Westfield, Wisconsin. Bruce, what's going on, man? Like Irvin. Hi, Tim, 42 and Fair in southwestern Indiana. D-Max in the house. What's up, brother? Number. Oh, I was talking about the the rebuild companies in Georgia. One of them is named. I'll give them a plug. I mean, because I think it's a great idea. One of them is CT Rebuilds. I see them advertising in my dealer magazine, Golf Cart Advisor dealer magazine that I get. CT Rebuilds, EagleGolfCartParts.com. Oh no, I'm sorry, Angry Eagle GolfCartParts.com. I think they do it also. That they do some advertising in the Golf Cart Dealer magazine. So check those out if you're considering doing something like that. Number 5. See some more G9 oil burning questions here. That's what I was talking about. They tend to be in the same category. I need some advice. This is from Edward. My G9 burns oil. Is it cheaper to rebuild or replace? I know it's an 8.5. I've seen some 24 horsepower Vanguards and Briggs engines cheap somewhere, but the wife will drive and our daughter. So should I go that way or try to hop up the stocker to 13 to 18 if that's reasonably possible, or detune a 24? I would, if you're worried about your daughter and your wife or whatever, and you want it to be a plug and play deal, and you want it to be the easiest thing ever, and it worked great and lasts for a billion years, probably the rest of your life, then do what we just got through talking about. Leave it stock. You don't really need to. It's a lot more complicated to me to detune a 24 than it would be to go back stock. Phyllis Elliott. Is that Greg Elliott on your wife's account? D-Max. My golf cart is backfiring too. I think it's because the governor lever is bent on purpose. Yeah, I've talked about that before, D-Max. I've talked about that on several episodes. There are, believe it or not, grown men even do this at the golf course. They figured out where the governor arm is, and they'll bend it so their car's faster from one hole to the next, but it runs like crap at low speeds. But they just leave it bent, and then the mechanic comes in and has to figure out what's wrong with it. Well, a lot of times I have found that bent governor arm, and it's bent on purpose. It's because it tightens up the governor cable, and the cart will be faster on top end, but it won't run worth crap at low end. So that's why I don't recommend tampering with the governor unless you know what you're doing. But yeah, that could very well be it. I'm on my own account. All right. So number 5, was that 5 that I did? Yeah. My advice would be to put it back stock. Unless you just want a project with a 24 horsepower, motor in there. That would be my advice, my recommendation. Get you another cart and do the 24 horsepower in. D-Max says, I got it like that. Yes, it's easy to bend. If you're talking about a club car, it's easy to bend it back. Just make it straight. Make the cable, because the cable will be in a bind. And if it's like this, you know, to the arm, then you know it's not bent. Number 6, I'm getting a 4-stroke EasyGo Marathon, but it has engine problems. Do you know why it would backfire and shoot flames through the carb? I'm trying to see what I need to check. Thank you in advance. 4-stroke EasyGo Marathon. Well, the two main reasons for anything backfiring is going to be you got a needle and seat issue. That's one. Okay, where it's actually allowing excess fuel to leak into the cylinder, and then every time you touch the gas pedal and makes the spark plug fire, it ignites all that extra gas that's in the cylinder and causes a backfire. That's one. And then another reason is timing is off. But you got to ask yourself, how in the world would the timing get off? Well, the main cause of timing getting off is somebody tampering with the timing. That's the main cause. So most likely it could be a needle and seat issue in the carburetor. That would be the most common cause. Rich Eastman, just curious, if a Briggs & Stratton or Predator engine is installed in place of the original, can they still use the starter generator, or do they have to use a regular electric start and leave the engine running? Can they use the original start, regular electric start, and leave the engine running? Well, you can't. You're not going to be able to leave the engine running. In other words, you're not going to be able to do that unless you change your clutch system. Okay, and the reason is because that clutch system on a golf cart, the golf cart clutch and driven clutch, the drive clutch and the driven clutch, is not designed to idle. Okay. If that golf cart idles, it's going to go forward. See, the ones that idle, the drive clutch opens up wide enough to where the clutch can spin without touching the belt. You know, on a golf cart that is foot operated, you know, you just hit the accelerator pedal and it takes off forward, and then it dies when you let off. That belt's always touching that drive clutch. You know, it's not going to sit there and idle. So there's a lot of things that you would have to change if you wanted it to idle. Can they still use it? And Briggs & Stratton or a Predator, they're not going to line up with you know, the right size crankshaft. It's not going to have the right size crankshaft, so you're going to have to change all the clutches most likely. There are people that have done it. If you're familiar with the forums, Rich, go to buggiesgonewild.com, and there's a modification section of that forum where they talk about extreme modifications, and there are people that have done everything, including the 24 horsepower stuff that we were talking about earlier. But there's a lot of people that are going to explain exactly what they had to fab and what they had to modify in order to make it work, and whether it's even worth it or not. Let me turn this up again. Daniel says, I came across that governor tampering on a lot of different engines, and it can ruin an engine with it over revving. D-Max, what I have always recommended, I'll tell you what I've always recommended on a gas golf cart, especially a 2003 DS. That's a great car with that FE290 Kawasaki in it. That car runs so good and would last so long if you just left the governor alone. Now, if you need more speed out of a gas car with a governor on it, just leave that alone and switch your gears. You know, put some high-speed gears in it. The cart's going to run the same RPMs. It's going to run just as smoothly as it did before. You may have a little bit less torque off the bottom, but you're going to get more speed because the motor's going to go at the same RPM it was going before, but your gears are higher. Your gears are higher ratio. You don't affect the way the engine runs when you do it like that. You know, if you just need to increase speed, keep in mind, you know, you're going to be tampering with your torque a little bit, you know, so you may lose a little bit of torque. But if you're trying to get a lot of speed, then you probably want to go ahead and think about switching to one of those kits, you know, with a higher horsepower. Number 7. Just by switching gears, well, you got to understand you can do 2 different gear sets in that car in a 2003. You can go 8-to-1s or you can go 6-to-1s. Now, obviously, 6-to-1s is going to be the highest gear ratio, which would give you the most speed at the same RPM. Now, I can only give you an estimate, but I can tell you this: going from 8-to-1s to 6-to-1s, 8-to-1s, going from 12.44 to 8-to-1s is at least a 5 or 6 mile an hour gain in top speed. And then going from there to 6-to-1s is just a couple of miles an hour more. So whatever that adds up to. Going from stock all the way to 6, at least 10. At least 10, I would say. You can get one of those, there's a calculator on the internet that will help you figure that out. You know, if you have your baseline numbers, there's a mile per hour calculator with different gear ratios. And it asks you about the height of your tires too. So you could try that and get a technical answer. There's going to be a lot of factors that are involved there that may skew that number a little bit, but they can give you a mathematical technical answer. Yeah, that's why I always say on gas cars, if you want to keep the car running exactly the way that it does, if you get a good gas car and it runs great, it's just a little slow, don't tamper with it. Just put you some high-speed gears in it, and everything will still run the same. Except maybe with the loss of a little bit of torque off the bottom. Number 7 is where I was at. It's from Colby. I officially have a running gas car, 91 E-Z-GO. I stuck a battery in it, and at first it wouldn't run. So I ran down a few things and came to the conclusion that the needle was sticking, and it wasn't getting any fuel to the bowl. I took the carb apart, and sure enough, it was sticking. The bowl and internal carb parts are spotless. Unstuck it, and all is good now. Here's my question. It turns over fine and does run normally, but I have to push the gas pedal almost all the way down before the engine starts to run. Is this normal, or should it start like 1/4 throttle? Well, that's an adjustment issue. That's an adjustment there that's out. I mean, you've got your governor cable, your accelerator cable, and sometimes there's even a third cable involved. You know, I don't remember exactly on 91 what's going on there, but you've got several cables there, and you can make it run anywhere you wanted to in the travel. And a lot of times that's why you go from one cart to another, and you'll notice that one of them, it doesn't crank until the pedal gets halfway, and another one it'll crank as soon as you touch it. Well, that's because they have something adjusted tighter than it needs to be, or looser than it needs to be. So that's definitely, look at your cable system and you should be able to figure out what I'm talking about. You have to hit, there are certain things that have to happen in order for the cart to fire. When you push that accelerator pedal, the starter generator will start turning, but you might not have necessarily pushed it far enough for your spark plug to be firing yet. Your starter generator's turning, but the spark plug's not firing. So you got to push a little bit more till something happens. Most likely activates a micro switch somewhere, you know, in that linkage systems. But all that can be adjusted. Hello from sunny, warm South Texas, Haven Speckman. What's going on there, Haven Speckman? We will probably have another episode before the holidays. There's going to be a couple of, you know, obviously every year for the holidays we shut down. We don't do a live at some point. So, but we're definitely going to be back next week. We will be back next week for sure. Just letting everybody know that. So, number 8. This is from Neil. Working on a 2003 G22 with a 357 engine. What is the valve clearance? Things like that, a lot of people don't realize how uh, much improved Alexa is. I mean, I got to be careful saying her name because I have her in this building. She heard me. uh, and all I did was ask her. I asked her your question. I asked her what, I said a 2003 Yamaha Gas G22, and she came back and told me that the intake valve clearance is 0.004, which is 4 thousandths, and the exhaust is also 4 thousandths cold. Now, if anybody finds out anything else about that is not correct, then let me know. But she came back and told me specifically, and I was surprised. I've been asking her a lot of stuff lately, and she is greatly improved, and I don't think a lot of people realize it, because once you figure that out, you can get a lot of questions answered. But that's all I did on that question. I just asked her. So 4 thousandths on intake and 4 thousandths on exhaust, cold. Number 9 is from Ken. I'm in the process of replacing my crankshaft seals and have the seal on the fan side exposed. I believe the seal has probably disintegrated. I can see a copper colored ring with rubber on the inner and outer edges. Before I drill a hole into the metal and use a screw to pull it out, I want to be sure that that is the seal. I bought a new seal and it appears to be black rubber with a ring coiled metal on the inside. I'm thinking the brass colored ring is encased in the rubber. Am I right or just crazy? No, Ken, you are not crazy. That you are right. That is the seal. And a lot of times something, when they disintegrate, it could lose some of that rubber in the copper thing. The copper color could shine through. So that's definitely what you're seeing. All right, we are going right through today on the questions. This is the last scheduled question. Number 10 is from Eddie. I'm new to golf cars. Is it typical that the governor momentarily turns off the motor when at full throttle? I thought it would simply stabilize. My new purchase stops the motor, then lets off again, and does this over and over when the pedal is fully mashed. If I back up on the pedal ever so slightly, then it's okay. Is this an adjustment issue or is it the nature of the beast? This is a 94 club car. I think this is exactly what D-Max and I were discussing a while ago about the bent governor arm or cable out of adjustment issue. Because what you're describing is normal for a car with an active governor that's out of adjustment, and the bent arm causes it to be out of adjustment. What we were talking about earlier. So it's very likely that you may have something like that, because that's exactly what it sounds like. You've got your governor is getting confused because you got one cable that's pulling too far, and the governor's trying hard to stop it from going like that. Let me put my email up. I don't have any let's see pictures for today. I didn't get any from anyone. So if you would, guys, send me some pictures and I'll feature them on the show. I always find that interesting. Send me pictures of your golf cart and your dog. Here's my email. Send me some pictures to 00timfreeman@gmail.com and I will feature them. I'll leave that up there. As I said, we will definitely be back next week. Now, after that, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure about the schedule yet for us because we will obviously be closed at one point. D-Max, golf cart and cat, that's fine. That's fine, D-Max. I understand that there is a such thing as cat people out there. But yes, I will accept a cat picture. And I'll be glad to feature it. We are going to, I'll go ahead and give the announcement today. I got a couple of things that I need to talk about. Uh, we're running low on hat inventory. I'll make the announcement now. We will, next week, next Tuesday is hat day. We're going to give away a bag of swag next on Tuesday. That'll be most likely it's going to be the last episode before Christmas. Because we'll be out for a couple of weeks there, Christmas and New Year's. So we're going to give away a hat right before the holidays. So we're going to give away a hat next time. So everybody, make sure you come back for that, a chance to win. And it's very possible that we are going to start having some double winners because everybody's name is back in at this point. Everybody's name is back in. So even if you won a hat last week, you may win a hat the next week. It's a random drawing. So keep that in mind. Everybody's name is going back into the bin. It has not been up to this point, but it is now. David Irwin, how is Dino doing? Dino is hanging in there, David. Dino has been diagnosed. I mean, don't everybody freak out when I want to say this. He has been diagnosed with IVD, which is idiopathic vestibular disease, which is not a uncommon thing for a dog his age, and he is very likely able to make a recovery. A lot of dogs make a full recovery. He's kind of in the middle of that recovery. It affects a dog's inner ear, causes them dizzy and balance issues and unstable on their feet. So he's still with us. He's still with us and he's doing good. He's eating. He's able to walk around. Sometimes he needs a little assistance. So we're hopeful that he is going to make a recovery. This is what happened. He went down real quick and then he made a drastic recovery and came back fairly fast in just a few weeks, or like four to 6 weeks, and he came back. And then it's not uncommon for them to have a second episode. So he's kind of going through this second episode right now. So we're hoping that he can come back and have a long time to go. If he makes it to January, I think I've said it before, he will be 15 if he makes it to January. So he's doing really good as far as we can tell. Kurt says, my hat is showing a lot of wear and tear. I guess I'm wearing it too often. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure that the people that have won in the past, I'm sure their hat's getting worn out by now, because we've had people that have won them over a year ago, so they'll get messed up pretty quick, especially if you use them. All right, let me turn that one off. Another announcement I need to make. Apparently, you hadn't really made it in the world until you get scammers and trolls, on the internet and stuff. Well, apparently there is somebody out there that is pretending to be Golf Cart Garage. There's somebody called The Golf Cart Garage. So be careful when you're out there and you think you're dealing with Golf Cart Garage, me and these guys that back me up. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, you might want to ask some questions, to make sure that you're talking to the right person. And as far as I know, it's only on Facebook at this point. This is a Facebook scam that I wanted to tell everybody. Just make sure you're talking to the real deal. Make sure that they know who I am, or Dave. Everybody knows Dave. We just heard about this just today, in fact. Later. And I missed it all. I'm not mad about all the customers I'm getting. but I'll go back and rewatch later. Okay, there we go. Oh, not that one. So everybody come back next week. Last week we had a winner, Mr. D 423. Mr. D 423 was last week's winner. I spoke with him. His stuff is either on the way. I don't know if I have a tracking number for him yet or not. But Mr. D, if you're in the room, don't worry. It's coming. It might be a little late, but it's coming. And like I said, we are running a little bit low on certain colors and stuff. So, hey, Ron, I changed my name so you won't be confused. Okay, cool, man. Okay, I talked about, oh, let me run my coupon here. This is an active coupon. Where did I put it? These scams are really a pain in the, you know what, I'm getting to be, you can't trust anyone. That is exactly right, Kurt. There's my latest coupon that is active. It's a TIM20 off. Now that is 20 OFF. That's $20 off orders of $250 or more. You get $20 off right there of $250 or more. And it's pretty easy to spend $250 nowadays on golf cart parts especially. So you can get 20 bucks off. All right. And you guys remember what I said about it. If you hadn't used, I can't say her name or she'll wake up. If you have not used Alexa in a while, you should check it out because she is improved. There is no doubt about it, and you can get some quick answers. You can even play musical. I discovered you can play musical trivia with her also. She's getting pretty smart. All right. That looks like it's going to be about it, guys. Remember about the scammer out there that's claiming to be the Golf Cart Garage. That is not us. We are Golf Cart Garage. We're just not the. So try to keep that in mind if you're doing any business with us. Just make sure that just try to ask some questions where you can verify it. Okay. All right, that looks like about it, guys. I will see everybody on 7 days from now, which looks like it will be about the 16th, December the 16th, and it will be Hat Day. Next week will be Hat Day. We will give away a hat and a bag of swag and all kinds of cool stuff. So I will see you guys then. Garage is now closed.